Let's see here. It says we're live.
Live and waiting. There we go.
There we go.
Got the email.
There we go. Twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. All right. Hi, chat room. Oh, gosh, we're sorry. I'm so sorry. And there's no good reason why there's a black screen for Marconin, except for the fact that Skype updated and now XSplit won't capture Skype, the Skype area.
Either that or like we're having a really bad power outage that doesn't affect computers at the house.
I swear he's there. I see him. I can look at his face. But
I am not a figment of your imagination.
I don't understand. Like, why does it not allow me to capture a screen area in Skype right now? I don't understand it. It's really stupid. I'll do it right now so you guys can see what is happening. It's really, really dumb. I go and I add the screen capture and I go grab it and I go get it and it gives me this black box. Nothing. There's nothing there. And it's just stupid. There's no reason why there should be a black box.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea what the deal is with it. I don't know if it's Skype or OBS or what. It's probably Skype.
It's probably Skype and the fact that whatever XSplit is using to capture stuff is not working, and yeah. But we have upgraded to our tech issues at least, so that now we can at least see each other and talk to each other, which
Yes,
was
a talk, yay.
Which is an upgrade to what happened in 10 days ago.
Well, we just swapped. Like last time I could see you, but I couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear me, but now you can hear me, but you can't see me.
I know.
At least the people out there can't see me.
At least with a podcast, we can produce a show where you are able to speak to me and I'm able to speak to you. And so viewers who are here live, I'm so sorry. I'm so terribly sorry.
Yeah.
Marcona's just going to go take his pants off. You're going to miss the whole thing.
It says I already have it.
I know. I know.
I don't know. I came running in after work to try and get here and I got here a couple minutes before 8. And I was running around, and then the battery in my headphones was drained, so I had to run and go grab a battery out of one of my work flashlights and then run back. I didn't have time to take my pants off. I couldn't get comfortable.
You were like, forget it.
It's going to be pants off, dance off after the show.
Yeah, you're probably going to be pants off, dance off, pass out. And then he's dancing.
I'm dancing on the screen solely for Jules because she's the only one who can see it. And I'm also swatting at a moth that's in here for some reason.
Oh no, it's the dreaded moth season. So if you're just joining us, thank you for coming in. For some reason, I cannot capture Skype video because Skype updated.
And I swallowed my camera, so you can't see it. It's all black.
Swallowed his camera.
Yep.
So yeah, everything
camera
that should work, where I just capture his video off of Skype and place it into XSplit, and you get to see him move around just like we always do, like we've done for like 5 years. 5 years plus of doing this show, is now suddenly not working. So in order to just make a podcast, because man, tech issues have just like, it was not going to stop another show.
No, we if I had to get a can, like a plastic cup, another plastic cup, and then get a rocket and shoot said cup with a string attached all the way up to Minnesota just so we could have the show tonight, I would have done it.
It's so true.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. So chat room, your job when people come in and goes, "Where's Marconin? I hear him, but I can't see him." You tell them exactly what happened, because.
Or you could be like the Joker in Dark Knight and make up a funny story every time.
That's Draven's job.
You want to know how I got these black screens?
That's Draven's job. Oh man,
yeah.
It makes zero sense why this is happening, and it's really pissing me off. But the show must go on. And draw a little picture in the window. I should go get your gnome picture and just put you in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I still have it. Let me go see if I have it somewhere. I have
MS
like
Paint Conan. Thanks, Focus.
MS Paint Conan. You want to get on that? I think it's
That
in
like
my.
D&D book thing looks amazing.
Isn't that incredible?
Looks so good.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I don't have it.
I think I may have it in my
Oh, maybe I
files.
have it on Dropbox in the Triple T files. Let's see. It might be there.
Yeah, I thought it might be in Dropbox somewhere.
Let's see if I were.
If I were a picture, where would I...
Yes, it's there. I see it. Add
Sweet.
source. Add source. Media file. There you are. Boom. Make that a little bit smaller.
Yay! It's me.
It's you.
Winchester said that we need a Marconin hand puppet for you to wear.
That's right.
Let's just go get a sock and then like put like spiky hair on it or something and be like.
That would be quite funny. That would be
It's
quite
a Triple
funny.
T
Like,
puppet show.
hello. Hi, Marconin. How are you? I'm fine, Jules. How are you today?
That gives me an idea. We should get like just a screen capture of like our empty chairs, and then like green screen some hand puppets.
Oh my god.
Do like the intro of a show like that. That'd be funny.
Do the whole show in gnome voice because that's what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
It's so true.
I guess I could, Bim.
Well, at least you have a picture, so
Yes,
it's
my
something.
avatar.
And
It
sucks because I can see you, but they can't. So
that is still one of my. I think that is still my number one favorite picture of Marconin, the one
Yeah.
that Fabelina did.
yeah,
Holy crap! I love that picture. I haven't looked at it in a while.
yeah.
Man,
I've
it is
had that
such
in the
good stuff.
Dropbox for ages because of like any other time when we couldn't, like when your camera wasn't working or something,
Mhm.
or the times where your internet wouldn't support video, but it could support audio. Remember those days? And
Oh
so-
yeah, I remember those days.
Yep. And so we would just throw your
Sheesh.
picture up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Marconen's smiling face to myself today. Winchester's right. So.
Yeah.
All right, Chatter,
Sorry,
let's
Paul.
ready check you because we need to do a show. It's been forever. Tell us you're ready.
I'm ready. Thankfully.
Today's the 19th. Holy guacamole.
It is.
The last show we did was the end of June. That's
Well,
crazy.
Hope you guys enjoy the new once a month schedule of
I know.
Tauren Think Tank. Welcome to the monthly show. We cram in 3 to 4 questions. It's
I mean, if you're a longtime
marathon.
listener of the show, you'll know that we used to do 2 to 3 questions an episode.
oh yeah.
Remember those days?
Oh, uh-huh. Oh man.
When the show would last 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the days. You could go back ways and get that. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Man.
Marconin, are you prepared to do a show?
I suppose so, even though I have my pants on. I'll
Oh,
make
well.
do this time.
You know. Yeah, they wouldn't know if you took them off, and you could always shut your
Oh, yeah.
camera off.
That's true. Yeah, I could. I could just put my hand over the screen, but don't look, Jules.
I'm indisposed.
Yeah. I'll tilt the camera up out of the way. There you go.
All right, friends, we're back. We're ready. It's episode 277. Marconin, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. Episode 277 records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 277 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, July 19th, 2018. It's 8:18 p.m. And after 3 weeks, we have returned for another episode. Thank goodness. It's been an interesting 3 weeks, and we've been also plagued by some tech issues. Tonight is no exception, but he is here, even though the chat room cannot see him. I promise that Mark Honan is here.
What year is it?
The really long nap has awoken.
Oh, my back hurts. I've been asleep for weeks. Oh, goodness.
Don't
Hello,
you hate
Jules.
that? That when you sleep
Yes.
too long and your back hurts. Like I love sleep. Like, don't get me wrong. I could sleep.
Mhm.
I love sleep. But that feeling of you've slept too long and now your back is screaming at you.
Yeah.
Do not want.
Yeah. Well,
do
that's,
not want.
that's the price you pay for sleeping too long. Cause I too love sleep, and I love sleeping in, but then it's like, oh, you've been here too long. You need to be productive. And then just kind of right in the lower back, and then shoulders sometimes it just
Yep.
hurts.
Yeah, like you slept on
Ugh.
your shoulder and your shoulder's like, hell no. And
Yeah.
there-
I've woken up and my whole arm is numb because
Yep.
I've like slept on top of it or something. And
Yep.
I'm just like, what arm?
Exactly. And we have been sleeping no, we haven't been sleeping for the past 3 weeks. We really did try to have a show on July 9th. We did. There was a very valiant attempt to do a Monday episode, try to fit that in between Mark Honan's insane work schedule. But unfortunately, Windows decided to do its forced update creator thing that a lot of people avoided. And suddenly Mark Honan and I could not communicate to each other anymore.
It was broke.
It was really broke. Like super
Everything
broke.
was broke.
And so we had to call it because I had something to do that evening because Femme Ferocity was playing that night in the open division. And so I was like, I can't believe it. I feel so bad. And Mark Honan felt so bad.
I was furious. I was so mad.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating. And then we get to today and realize that Skype has updated. And
Woo!
now I cannot
Says no one
capture. Yeah, I cannot capture Mark Honan's video and place it in the overlay. It gives me a black screen. And so now I'm going to have to go out there and do some research onto why this is happening. Because everything else, I can capture anything else for XSplit's screen area capture and it works. But since we can hear each other and he and I can see each other, that is the ingredients of a podcast, and we are making ones despite the fact that Mark Honan raced home from work and is starving because he hasn't eaten. I mean, we are sacrificing it all to do this show because it's been too long and we missed you guys. So
yes, it has been way too long.
yes. So let's start with what's going on with you for the last 3 weeks now that we've given an update about why we've been gone so long.
I think I just worked nonstop. Like, I think I remembered sleeping, but I think I just half remembered it. The fact that I have slept before at some point in the history of my life, but I didn't actually sleep. I was just blinking in between long working sessions for the last 3 weeks. So work. Yeah, just an insane amount of work because we've been slammed and we lost somebody. They moved away. And with my promotion, there's a lot more stuff to do. And it's been bananas. I've been working 6 days a week, 15 hours on most days. Just crazy.
Is there an end
I get
in
paid
sight?
tomorrow, and I saw my paycheck, and it looks like I worked that many hours, so I'm not going to complain about that part. But just not having, like, I forgot what day it was, and not in the normal. Oh, it's Monday. Oh, I thought it was Tuesday. No, it's like, oh man, sure feels great to be a Wednesday. It's Saturday.
Oh,
Like, oh, where was the rest of the week? Like my brain is just kind of in a fog. I got a decent sleep, but just I was always working.
yeah. It was basically like work, sleep, and work, sleep, and
Yeah. Most days I came in and I undressed, but like I closed the door and undressed and just fell into the bed. and then got up and left. And like my wife made comments that she said the only time she's seen me is like at the foot of the bed, like getting ready for bed or getting ready for work. That's the only memory she has of me the last few days.
Yeah.
Because it's the only time she's seen me, because I left as she's waking up and I come home as she's going to bed.
Yeah.
And so it was frustrating, but I did, they asked, and I had, someone's got to work, someone's got to put in the time, and, might as well be me, someone's got to do it. And no one else wanted to. So, that's just, that's how it goes. You get a job with more responsibility. When responsibility knocks, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
And it
so
sucked.
is
It
there
sucked,
an end
but
in sight?
At least I get paid.
Is there an end in sight?
Yes, I mean, it was supposed to be a light week this week, and overall it kind of was. It's just today was kind of bonkers and had a lot of things go wrong, and things slowed me down. And yeah, it's just I wasn't supposed to work this late today, but as I have told a lot of people, I always know when I go to work, but I never know when I leave work. I have an idea, but in the service industry like that, if something goes haywire, you got to finish the job.
Yeah.
And it sucks sometimes, but overall things have quieted down this week, thankfully, and they should stay quiet for a little while, at least until the holidays, I hope.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride for you, and that is why we missed so many days, so many episodes normal that we would have for the week, for the month, because of the crazy work schedule that you had. But
yeah,
hopefully that it will tame itself down a little bit. And so have you had any free moments to check out the new pre-patch for Battle for Azeroth?
I got in like late that night, and I popped in long enough to see that according to the new numbering system for mounts, I had 399 mounts out of 400 for the new achievement, which means I did get the 350 mount achievement, which is that blue elemental dude, rock elemental blue guy.
Yep.
Looks really awesome. I love it. And then I thought to myself, well, Paladins mounts, their racial mounts, they have like 5 or 10 or 15, however many paladins get, because that's not fair. And so I was like, well, if I go onto my paladin, then I would have 400 mounts and I could get the 400 mount achievement. So I did just that. And so I kind of cheesed my way into the 400 mount club. And so I did that and got some screenshots and thought that was fun. I haven't played a whole lot on it. Marconin he feels a little bit less powerful.
Yeah.
But I think that's mostly due to the extra effects from the artifact weapon that I used to have.
Mm-hmm.
Rotation really hasn't changed much for frost mages, which is good, because I don't like change. And I almost died to some things I never used to. But, us mages are quick on our feet, and we can freeze things and move things and blink. So I did all right. It was very cool. I am very excited about Battle for Azeroth. I'm very jazzed. I'm ready to see where we go, what we do. Just really excited. Played a little bit on my Lightforged Draenei, but like I said, it was late at night at that point. Mm-hmm. So I was only on for like an hour, so I didn't get to do a whole lot. But over the weekend, I'm going to carve out some time to play some more Overwatch. I can't remember when Wrecking Ball's coming out, because I can't wait to play him on live. I think it's next week.
Next week, I think, because he's off PTR now.
Okay.
So they closed down PTR. So I think he's coming out on Tuesday.
Awesome. Or I cannot wait to play him on live. They usually do
patches on Thursdays for Overwatch.
I think it's Thursday, maybe?
Yeah. So, yeah, so I think he's on his way, but is it 24th Thursday? I think it is.
I think it's Tuesday, actually.
Oh, okay. Maybe
24th is Tuesday.
Okay.
Cool.
I never know with Overwatch, because they do heroes updates on Tuesdays, but I don't know about Overwatch. So
yeah. It feels like they change up the days, but I'm excited to try Wrecking Ball on live when it's not 6-on-6, all 12 of us Wrecking Ball, and it's just bananas. That was fun, but also really, really OP. It was a cool combination. But yeah, awesome. Just that was really cool. lot of I'm very kind of sad Legion is leaving. I felt kind of sad the last day of Legion when I had millions of HP and they did the stat squish and all that. But because I think Legion was such a good expansion. It's one of my favorites. And, you know, sad are we all that summer's passing, but we must all walk into the autumn together. So we will all walk into the autumn that is Battle for Azeroth in like less than a month now. So I'm jazzed. I'm excited. I can't wait to see, especially the lore. I can't wait to see what we do with the lore. And of course, all the new mounts that I get to collect. That Bumblebee mount looks awesome. I can't wait to do that. But yeah, so I've had a whole lot of just work and a little bit of WoW the last few weeks. But how about you, Jules? How's the rest of how was the last near month for you? I know you've been really busy.
I've been really busy, and it's been an interesting time for me. So the last show that we did, when was the last show that we did? I have to look at the dates now. The 29th. So it was the day before my last day on the job. Yeah. So it's been almost 3 weeks since then. It's been, like I said, an interesting time and kind of a strange one for me. I've been trying to adjust to what it feels like to be unemployed, which is like this strange feeling that I haven't really had in a long time. And just trying to kind of figure out what life is like for me after CTR, because I mean, honestly, that whole community and the guild and running the guild has been a big part of my life for years.
Yeah.
And so it's been like this kind of adjustment period for me to just kind of say, well, who am I now? Because I'm not the manager of the CTR party anymore. I'm not the GM of the CTR guild anymore. And it's been a lot of self-reflection. It's been emotional, tough, sad, like, you know, adjusting to the fact, like you say, you don't like change. And I just like, I'm accepting that change because the reality is that I'm not playing Battle for Azeroth. I'm not playing WoW. And that's a big change. And it's just letting go of certain things and moving on to new things. And so there's been that, but there's been some really good things. And one of the really good things is that I got to see some of our friends, which was a very unexpected situation. So for people who have listened to the show previously and seen us, you know, followed me on Twitter or Facebook, we have some friends who we've met through Nerdtacular, going to Nerdtacular, Josh and Kristen. And we've spent several Nerdtaculars with them. I found out that they were coming to Minneapolis during the 4th of July week because Josh's brother lives here, and they hadn't been here for a year or so. And so I found out they were going to be here, and they were like, "Hey, Jules, we should have dinner together while we're here." And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." And my friend Jayance, who lives in Boston, who's also our friend, was like, "I want to come."
Yeah.
And I had a feeling that might happen. And I was like, well, then come visit. You can come stay with me. And he goes, I have frequent flyer miles to use on JetBlue. And I was like, you come stay with me. And so he flew in for one day. I got up in the morning. I picked him up from the airport. We spent the entire day together with Josh and Kristen. We went to lunch, to dinner. We did a bunch of stuff. And he stayed over, and I drove him to the airport the next morning, and he went home. And
wow.
I know, it was like a 24-hour, just like complete friend extravaganza is the best way to put it in there. And it was awesome. And it felt really good to see them and just to see people who I really like and enjoy time with. So that was amazing. Also happened during that time frame was that this was Jayance staying at my condo was the first time that anybody had stayed with me since I've been living alone. And my little kitty cat, Garrus, did not take so well to having people in my home. He was
no.
not a happy kitty about, and got pretty scared. He hid for kind of most of the time. And then, like, we came back here. We were playing some games together. And he came out and, like, let people pet him. But he's super wary. And it's like, all right, maybe he's just getting more comfortable with people being here. And during the night while Jay was sleeping, Garrus came into my room. And he was super needy, super needing attention. And 3 o'clock in the morning wakes me up. And I'm like, okay, dude, like, I know you're scared. Come lay with mom. It'll be fine. So I get up in the morning and Jay goes and uses the shower and I haven't seen the cat since like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I must be hiding. That's fine. So I go drop Jay off at the airport and I come home. Still no cat, which is a kind of a rare thing because normally now, like, he's going to come out and say hi and see what's going on. I'm like, okay, he's probably still really scared. And so the morning goes by and it's noon, still no cat.
Oh, no.
Mom's getting a little concerned. I'm calling for him. I'm looking for him. I know where he likes to hide. And I was 99% sure I knew where he was, which was inside the jet tub that I have in the condo that was here when I bought it. There's an opening in the closet that he can get into from there because it's where the electronics are. So I was pretty sure that's where he was because that's where he hides. So now I start to, I took the panel off the front of the tub. I start looking around in there. I can only see partial bits of it. Still no cat. Nowhere. And I did a lot of, like, it was hard for me to inspect it because, like, the toilet is right there. So you can't get too far in to look. But I see that there's a hole cut in the floor at the top area of the tub. In the floor. So there's a hole that he could have gotten into, which I would assume get, like, in the subflooring of my condo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, what if he's in there? I can't get in there. I can't even see in there. I can't. It's like, it's in the front of the tub. The toilet's there. There's no way my butt's fitting in there. So it's just like, I can't look. So I'm like, all right. Mom, don't get too upset. He'll come out. He'll be fine. I leave the panel off and it's about bedtime. He hasn't been out. He hasn't eaten. He hasn't used the litter and he's still missing. I'm like, all right, Mom, relax. Don't panic. Go to bed. See if he'll, maybe he'll just come out at night like he did last night.
Yeah.
I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and my brain goes, where's the cat? And I get up and he's still gone. So now it's been almost 24 hours since I have seen my cat. And I am now, okay, it's panic time. It's just like, it's sheer panic time. Where's my cat? And so I'm calling for him. I'm just like, gently calling for him in the bathroom. And then I would listen. And nothing. Hey, buddy. Mom's here. Nothing. And I went, hey, buddy, come out. And I heard something. And I heard a thump. And then I heard another thump. And I'm like, that's coming from under the tub. He is in that. All of a sudden, I hear a loud thump, and he is now looking at me from under the pipes, right where that hole was. And I am just like, oh my God. And so, come on, buddy, come on. He comes out. He is terrified. Like, he is freaking out. And I'm like, it's okay. It's all right. He's glued to me. And I'm like, come on, let's go out. So we go, he like runs to his food dish, he eats, runs back to me, runs back and eats some more, runs back to me, goes to the litter pan, uses it, runs back to me. That poor cat was so afraid. I have never in my life seen him so scared. And I was just like, you freaked yourself out. Because I don't know if you just like got yourself in there and didn't know how to get out or what. But he was starving and he had to pee. So, but he made it out. And
Oh, good.
and I just sat on that floor and made a huge, like, just the deepest sigh of relief, like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just do not do this to me again, ever. Ever.
Yeah.
Because I can't, my stomach can't handle this stress.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, he's
Oh.
been fine ever since. Like, he has been totally cool, like very cuddly, but super cool. And now I need to figure out how to, like, block that stupid hole in the floor, because I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of it. So yeah, so there was that, like, panic scare. But other than that, I've been looking for jobs. I had an interview yesterday, and I'm hopeful that I hear back from them. They said they were going to contact me today, and they didn't. So we'll see. I'm hopeful, because it would be a really good job if I got it. And just I've been drumming up some new stuff, which I can't really talk about right now, but there is some really cool stuff on the horizon that I will be able to talk about hopefully soon. And when I can, it's super cool shit. So
Nice.
Yeah. So, you know me, I don't let any grass grow underneath my feet. And so if my identity of being the leader of CTR has changed, then I will find ways to replace that hole with something else. So yeah, I'm super excited with what's coming. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah.
Nice.
It's been a busy 3 weeks. I am, the way I would phrase my mental state to be is that I am very introspective, very emotional, but very hopeful. Change is hard, loss is hard, but they do say when one door closes, another one opens, and it is true. It's just kind of that moving on that needs to happen still, which is hard. But
yeah.
So yeah, it's time to move on. But speaking of moving on, we have a show here and we have a listener question. And
We do.
I will say this too, now that we are back and back on a normal schedule for now, we could use more questions. So let's get them. Bring them our way, please. Bring more questions.
Give us your questions.
Yes. Are you
now.
ready to do this question?
Oh, I think so.
You think so?
It is
I have to
time.
I put my soundboard away. Let me get it. It's Think Tank time. Let's do it.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Think Tank time, and we have Think Tank time. We have a question, and it's also a follow-up because it is a previous writer who is asking us another question. So she starts with a summary of what happened previously. Dear Jules and Marconin, the first part is about my past letter I sent in about my monarch grandma. So I met up with her for Mother's Day, and I brought my partner to meet her. And prefacing this was the grandma who basically said, I won't let you go to your cousin's wedding, and I dictate all of it. This is the backstory slightly of that. So she went up to her with Mother's Day and brought her partner to meet her. I was ready for a very hostile environment, and while she didn't really speak to us during lunch, afterwards she did take the time to speak to my partner on her own accord, and he said it was a pleasant conversation. Following on from that, my mom told me that my grandma claims she was never asked even about permission to go to my cousin's wedding. So that rabbit hole of drama continues of who said what, blah, blah, blah. But the outcome was that even though there was some awkwardness there, it doesn't seem that all bridges were destroyed, just some needing reinforcements to be constructed. The good news, though, from my partner is that he is now a fiancé. He proposed last fortnight, knowing that the important members of my family have finally accepted him. So that will be the real test if my grandma decides she really accepts the divorce and me moving forward. Congratulations. And now on to the question at hand. How do you deal with people who show their love with their wallet? It's something I've always been uncomfortable with, and now I'm experiencing it again. I've grown up with the behavior of working hard and waiting for when you want something, but coming across as a soon-to-be new family member who splashes cash around to please us, specifically towards my kids, doesn't sit right with me. They are wanting to buy Christmas gifts for them, very organized, and spending the amount of money on one gift that I would budget for the entire Christmas gifts of my 2 kids. Am I ungrateful for them wanting to do this? Should I just accept this as who they are? I'm just unsure what to do. My partner said it's just how they have been his whole life, so he's used to it. Some insight would be great. Thanks, guys, from S Aries 08.
Alrighty.
Conan, do you
That's,
know? Go ahead.
I was going to say that's a really good update. Congratulations, and thank you for writing again.
Yes, most definitely. Do you know people who use their wallet for to show their love?
I'm partially one of those people.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to give gifts. I like to find stuff that people would enjoy. To me, it shows that it conveys that I'm thinking of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're always kind of at the top of my mind. So if I see something that I think they like, I get that. As far as like just doling out tons and tons of money, not as much. My grandparents, they're very giving people. My grandfather is extremely nice in helping me fix my car whenever it messes up. And that's him, it's not as much money as it is acts of love and kindness, like those 5 love languages type of thing.
Yes, I was just bringing that up on the internet for evidence as well.
Yeah, I was about to Google it so we could expand on it too. But yeah, I'm partially a gift giver because I just, I guess it kind of partially goes with me like liking to collect things. Like to me, buying a little gift or something is nice, but some people may think it's kind of like a trashy trinket or something. It's like, well, I don't need that. Like I'm not a I'm not a trinkety kind of person or something, because I'll see something that reminds me of, like, say, my wife, for instance. It reminds me of her. It brings a smile to my face. It's like, oh, that's really cool. I know she really likes, that TV show or that movie or that, artist or whatever it is. And I'll think to get it for her, but then I remember that she's not really the collector type. It's all just junk. So I don't buy it.
Yeah.
So it makes anniversaries and Christmas a little difficult.
Yeah,
my anniversary is in like 3 weeks, and I have no idea what to get her.
Well, and this is an interesting conversation to have because I am the kind of person who I would prefer someone, if they were going to spend money on me to give me something, I would just rather that they give me the money. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, and that is something that it's caused contention in previous relationships for me, because for someone who is like you, who finds the value of finding something that's meaningful to someone and giving it to them, that like, I feel like I am displaying my love for you, my care for you, by selecting something that I really feel that symbolizes you. And so I have a family member that does that for me right now, where I just get stuff in the mail that I don't really want and I don't really need. And I have a tough time with it because, like, I don't like a lot of stuff. I don't. And I have felt really badly about it, but I have thrown things away that I've received from them because it's so not what I wanted or needed, and it just would take up space. And there's that kind of philosophy. And then there's a philosophy that S. Aries is talking about, where there's a feeling of, or a perception that they're being one-upped by. So I think the key point in her letter is that what they want to buy for her kids is the amount of, for one thing, is the amount of money she would budget for both kids.
Yeah.
And I think that is the key issue that she's run into here, is that kind of feeling is, I feel inadequate that I can't provide for my kids, and you are pointing that out to me by the length of your gift.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely understand and see that.
Yeah.
Because it's, I mean, if someone's got the cash to flash and give gifts, big gifts like that, they're probably used to just doing it. Just like her partner said, is they've been doing it their whole life.
Yeah.
So they're used to it. And they probably don't even think of it that way. It's probably not even crossed their mind that someone would take it as almost as like a show of status, that they have the ability to just throw money at people.
Yeah.
Whereas other people are more frugal. And, there's probably, the perception is very valid that she has. It may not be mutually accurate that they know it and that they are showing that intent to it. But, how do you how do you go past it? How do you navigate those waters? Because one thing you do want to do is you want to instill in your kids the value of things. You want to say, hey, take care of your stuff. We worked hard to get you these gifts, these presents. They're worth something, even if they're not worth a whole lot. There's presents that I've gotten that I value a whole lot, and that even though they may not cost a lot of money, they have the meaning of just being a gift from somebody.
Yeah.
And so I want to take care of it because I don't want to mess it up, because then you have to buy another one or what have you. But you do want to instill that kind of the value of things and the meaning of things, because for a lot of Christmas gifts, you could give me, you give me the newest video game console and it's great and it's awesome. But, sometimes, and I can't remember how old her Aries' kids are, but having something that's not necessarily expensive, but that has a lot of thought put into it, means a whole lot more to me. And I think maybe that could be something, and a way to explain it to Aries' gift givers is that, hey, we appreciate you wanting to spend this much money, but really they could just use a couple of these things. We're trying to show them, and kind of play it down a little bit. And I could see where someone might see, I'm playing all of the potential situations off of my head. And then, what would those people say? Is like, well, we don't want you don't want my money, my gifts. Well, that's ungrateful, but then you fall down a huge rabbit hole. So it's a lot. It's this is a little bit of a minefield to navigate, but
very much so, because I've been in this position in the past with people, and I can't name any names, but
sure.
So when you're trying to instill for a child that quality is more important than quantity, that that having a ton of gifts to open that maybe don't have a lot of, they're just little dinky things, versus something that is meaningful but maybe costs more. And so what she's saying is, like, I would spend this amount of money on a number of gifts, and they want to spend that amount of money on one gift. That makes me feel like I can't afford that one. How am I trying to say this? It's a philosophy difference. It's like, do you want your children to like want a whole bunch of little stuff for that same amount of money, or are they okay with that one big thing? So if you're a child saying, I want a $399 PlayStation, a PS4, like when I was growing up, if I had said that, my parents would say, if you want that, and we decide to get it for you, that's the only thing you're getting.
Yeah, that's all you get. I had that. My parents did the same thing. I mean, you got to give the kids that choice. That's something Aries could probably do, is say, hey guys, if you had the choice, would you want, because as a kid you loved seeing all those presents with your name on the tag.
That's so true.
It's when you're kids, it's all about the quantity. It's not about the quality necessarily. I like unwrapping presents. It's something about this just primal tearing of the snowman laid in wrapping paper with the green wreaths, and just so I want to have as many presents as I can. I want all the presents. Then all the presents under the tree.
Yeah.
So you really have to kind of take that into account. I like the idea of having lots of small gifts if that's what they want. You always kind of engage what the kids might want, and if they do want that one big thing, you have to let them know, like, hey, Santa is miraculous, but he's not omnipotent. He cannot get you everything. He told me that if that's what you wanted, that's all he would be able. That's all the room for you that he has on his sleigh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of ways you could do that.
But
they,
the real issue here, the real
Mhm.
philosophy issue here, is her feeling that they may be trying to buy their children's love by expensive gifts. And because let's say that it's a position where you're saying we can't afford, I'm going to use the PlayStation 4 as an example.
Sure.
And let's say, I'm sorry, that's not going to be possible this year. In budget, it can't be happening. But these folks are the ones who provide the all coveted PS4. Who is going to have the reverence of their children when it comes down to which is the coolest present, the one that they really wanted? And I think that is the philosophy that she's having, which is like, they're going to love them more than they love me.
Yeah, that's valid too. That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
And how do you combat that? Because if it is a situation where you are just, financially not in a position to do what you want, what your kids really, really want, and there's someone else who can, and there's we have a jealousy thing going on where it is, I wish I could do that for my children, and I feel badly that I cannot, and it looks poorly upon me as the parent who cannot provide this for my children. And it takes a lot of effort and a lot of mental fortitude, but it is possible to say, I'm just glad my kids are happy. It doesn't matter how it happened or who provided it. I'm just glad that my kids are happy because it's about them, not me.
Yeah. Well, and your kids should love you. I mean, being happy about getting the PS4 from the new in-laws or whoever they are, that's great, and they'll like that. But just remember, the PS5 is going to come out in like next year, and it's going to blow the 4 away. So, it won't be a very long a time that they'll really be digging in and liking that PS4. So, consoles are temporary. PC is forever. Kidding.
Yeah.
Kidding.
The struggle that I know that there is here is that when there is somebody who has a lot of money and isn't afraid to use it for people, is that you don't want your kids to become expectant of it. That these are the family members that are going to give us the big stuff. And that they come to expect it, that they aren't grateful for it, that they aren't super appreciative of what they've received. And because that's when you start getting the whole spoiled thing, and it's not fun. I remember those days of seeing a child like fully expecting that there would be a whole lot of stuff under the tree for them. And if that family member didn't do that, it would just be like, well, that's not what you normally do. And I was just like, hello? Like that's not what this is about,
Yeah.
It's, for me, it's just tough because I am certainly not the, I'm not the super gift giver type, but I love to give somebody a gift that I know is like super meaningful to them. Like, I will take extreme care to select a gift that I know that really connects with that person. If I'm going to buy them.
Yes, she does.
I do. It's just because that's how I've always given gifts, because I don't have a lot of money. And so when I show my love or my appreciation for people, I usually do it by giving them my time. That's my love language. incidentally, is spending time with people or giving them my resources or my knowledge or that kind of thing without expecting anything in return. And so it's kind of funny when people, like, when a random package shows up in the mail for me for my birthday, and I'm like, I wish that you had just given me money because I could have used that to buy something that I needed instead of another knickknack that is gonna gather dust on the wall. No. Like, so that's kind of how that's how I view it. Now, Marconin has always been the kind of gift giver who's been very meaningful, like stuff that he knows that I'm gonna dig. It's not like he goes out and buys me a potpourri basket or something. So, like,
only if you mentioned that you wanted one would I do that.
My grandmother has sent me way too many of those. It's like, sorry, Grandma, no. Like, I don't like potpourri baskets. So, it's just it's one of those things that everybody's different. But for your kids, S. Aries, I would think, it's about how you can put yourself aside and hope that they're not just spoiling your kids too. Like, hey, you have a PS4, here you go. Like, you want a PS4, kids? Let's just get it. Like, they have no appreciation for how much it really is that got spent on them.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think it would hurt to have a conversation with the gift givers, just to say, are you sure you want to spend this? Because and just kind of give them a brief rundown of like, hey, we usually do Christmas a slightly different way, and I just want you guys to know that, and just sit down and talk to them about it and see if maybe there's something else that they could give your kids that's not as high dollar, or if it is high dollar, kind of share your concerns with them, share your gift giving philosophy, where you're coming from about it, just to be honest and not to be ungrateful. Just tell them that this historically is how I've done it. And I am super appreciative that you guys want to do all this, but but maybe we could, we're at like a 9.5. Could we maybe go down to like a 7? Maybe, instead of the PS4, we could get them, I don't know, just something slightly less that they would still like, and that way, we can maybe save up for it, or something like that. Like, the way that I got around that growing up is that Santa was the one that gave me the high dollar presents. Like, my parents didn't give me necessarily the high dollar presents. I mean, they did in a roundabout way, but the way you turn that kind of being preferential to one family member or another is to pin it all on the big dude in the red suit. That may be another workaround to say, hey, I know you guys want to get the PS3 for the kids, PS4 for the kids. Could that maybe come from Santa, and maybe we can come together and get something that goes along with it? Because Santa got my nephew an Xbox One for Christmas last year.
Oh,
his
nice.
His uncle Marconin got a tip from Santa that's what he was going to get. So I went out, and because I have good connections in the gaming sphere, I was able to get a couple games and some chargers and get him hooked up with a couple of accessories. That way, I got the inside track. So maybe you could do something like that. Like,
that's a good idea.
Let the high dollar thing fall from Saint Nick. That way there's no, preferential treatment between family members. That may be a possible workaround.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. And if they do not want to do that, then you've got a really good indication that they want your children to know that they're the ones who gave them that big item. And that's where you have some concern.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a little bit of a good litmus test.
Yeah.
However you pronounce that word, litmus.
Litmus.
Lispmus. It's a litmus Christmas.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord! We're off the rails again.
We are. I'm sorry. I'm punch drunk, but work related.
Little punchy. Yeah, I think that's actually an excellent solution to propose, and you'll find out pretty quick if like they balk at that, then they're like, then that this is something that is important to them to know that these two people were the ones that gave you that gift. Because I've seen people do that. I've seen family members who are like, oh, do they know that it's from Uncle Greg and Auntie Peg? Like, you know, I'm making up names. Greg and Peg. You know, do they know that that was who it's from? You know, or that I didn't get a thank you note from your son about that. You know, I've seen that too, where it's just like, well, what is it about? Is it about you getting thanked for the gift, or about you giving the gift? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good Lord. I gift giving can get very complicated and can be a psychological battle. So if your mom instincts are out there triggering you, you know, they're ticking at your gut, then listen to them. Marcona gave a really good solution, and you may find out more by their reaction.
Yeah. You know, and of course you can kind of tell them the way you're feeling, how you approach gift giving, since they're new to, you know, they're new to you're new to their family, they're new to yours. I mean, it's a good chance for you guys to kind of get to know one another in this regard. I mean, because it's, you know, going well, it'll be something you guys will have to deal with, you know, every year potentially. Yeah. So it's good to get out ahead on this one. Yeah. And just kind of lay some conversation out, lay some ground rules out. Just tell them kind of, hey, this is the way we're doing it. And if you want to get them that's awesome, because I know they've really been wanting one. Would you be okay with that being from Santa? And then maybe we can just kind of do something with gifts from you. Maybe something like a gift card, or, you know, like a small gift card for, you know, whatever video game thing they like, you know, something related to the big Santa gift, you know.
It's all for naught if her kids are old enough to not believe in Santa. But
true. This is true.
But
we have not talked about that yet.
Yeah, I actually do not remember how old her children are. So, but in any case, it is a suggestion to give it a try. I know that even at that age, I was still getting gifts from Santa, even though I knew it was from my grandma, you know? So
yeah, well, I still do that too. Like, there's usually one or two for my wife and I that come from Santa. I like to do that as well.
Yeah. So there's the solution still stands. It does. But yeah, I have to say that there's some cause for concern possibly, and it's just about how gracefully you handle it, because this sounds like it sounds like your fiance's parents. And if that's the case, it's definitely kind of a precedent that you have to set gently about how you're raising your children and what your expectations are for what kind of gifts they receive. But don't forget about the feelings that you have. Is it that you're projecting this on them because you might be feeling a little inadequate about what you can provide for them during the holidays? Or is it something else? So
yeah, and I don't think you're being ungrateful for wanting them to not do something like that. I don't think it's being ungrateful. It's just something new, and you don't know quite how to navigate it yet. That's all that is. You know, don't beat yourself up too much over it.
Yeah, some people want to show off how much money they have, and that can make it kind of uncomfortable. But you don't know that. You don't know what their true intentions are, and now it's about kind of sussing it out, figuring it out. So
now's the time to figure it all out. Yeah,
exactly. And I wish you a lot of luck, because in-laws, if this is who they are, which it sounds like they are, can be, you know, it's a bit of a minefield sometimes, integrating into somebody else's family. And it's, you know, you're kind of feeling out what's happening. What are they, you know, what could be like majorly offensive that you don't even know about that you could do? Oh, Lordy. Been there. Really glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. So
you mean it's not acceptable to break wind at the Thanksgiving dinner table? Oh,
no,
man.
No.
we used to make a contest at it back in the backcountry when I was raising. Man, Uncle George, he'd clear out the whole dang room, make the turkey jump off the table and run away scared.
I will not say which family this was, but I will tell you a quick story about my first impression of future in-laws, because I have 2 sets now.
Oh boy!
But I had been invited over for a Christmas dinner. The first time I was meeting them, and their tradition was to do fondue during their dinner. And so I mean, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm meeting his parents, and this is like, you know, kind of a strange situation. And I actually I went to hand a plate or a dish to somebody at the table, and I wound up bumping one of the fondue pots of oil. It fell off of the burner and onto the table and spilled all over the table. And
oh no!
Went through, destroyed the tablecloth, went onto the floor, and it was the most mortifying thing. I felt so bad that I bought them a new tablecloth because I was so mortified. It was like I felt so bad, and I was like, I am so sorry. I went and I bought them a brand new tablecloth.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so yeah, that was my first impression. It was like, oh Lord. We wound up getting married anyway, but I don't know. I still don't think they were too thrilled about that thing that I did.
No sense crying over spilled fondue, I guess.
Spilled hot peanut oil. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway. And that is our think tank question, and we thank you, S. Aries, for writing to us. We apologize it's taken so long to get to your question. Hopefully, because it's Christmas that you're discussing, though, hopefully it wasn't too time sensitive to get you an answer.
Yeah.
And we are definitely, like I said, available for more questions, so please send them to questions@taurenthinktank.com. And yeah, that's...
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, so that's what we've got for you this week. We do have a couple slash moos that have been sitting in there, so I will play the slash moo sounder. And I have some of my own as well.
Me too.
Cool. So from Bim, she says, slash moo to Tanker 1 for meeting up with RJ Sketch and me to play Pokemon Go today. The weather was beautiful and there was fun live ska music playing. We talked and talked, and it was awesome.
So jealous. I wish I could have been there for all that.
I know. And
ska and friends.
And Pokemon.
I know. That's like 7 of my favorite things. All right there.
And Tanker 1 also sent one back, and he said slash moo to Bim and RJ Sketch for an awesome day of Pokemon Go and great company.
That's awesome.
It is so great that people from the Discord met up and got together and spent the afternoon together. That is a fantastic thing. So that was super cool to see. You have one, at least one.
Yes. Oh, I actually have 2.
I do too.
Okay. I guess do you want to alternate or do you want me to do both of mine?
Do your both. Yeah, do your both.
Okay. First up, well, and most recently, I need to give a slash moo to our good friends, Sparrow and Morgan, her husband, because today, and Jules, you'll like this because I'm a collector, they found me the Grillmaster 76 Funko Pop that came out today. I had to work, and they went out early this morning to go hunt for Funkos themselves because all of the San Diego Comic-Con ones came out today, and they found a bunch of them, and they sent me a message while I was at work on my first job, and they said, hey, do you want one of these? Weren't you looking for some? And I said, yes. And they went to they went to a different drove around town somewhere and found one. I got the last one, or they got the last one at the store, and took a picture, and they're like, he's yours. And then they went to Hot Topic and got me the 8-bit Wreck-It Ralph one that I wanted as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yep. So I'm going to try to run down to Dallas and see them and grab those Funkos. If not, they could just mail it to me. We got to figure that part out. Yeah. But yeah, that's a big slash moo to Sparrow and Morgan. They are fantastic people. I love them very much, and thank you for feeding this insatiable Funko addiction that I have stumbled myself into is bad. It's not as bad as some of those pictures I've sent out before on Twitter. I don't have a huge wall yet, but there are a few. So yes, big slash moo to both of them. And also slash moo to our friend Cohumulone. Our buddy Mike took me on the last chosen run of the expansion.
Oh, wow.
I got to do Mythic Trial of Valor. You can't die because when you first start the raid, you get a buff, and you have to go through Odin, the dog lizard thing, and then Helya, and you can't die on Mythic. And so this past Sunday, 2 days before the pre-patch went live, we went and did it and knocked it out. And we tried to do it the previous week, but we wiped really early on. And once you wipe, you lose the buff and you can't try again for the week. So we went in there and I nearly died in the last phase. Bunch of stuff hitting the ground, but thank you for Ice Block and Lock Cookies, because those both saved my bacon, and I stayed alive long enough to kill Helya and get the cool transmog sets and the awesome title, The Chosen. So big, humongous slash moo to Cohumulone for that, because if there's things I get really crazy about in World of Warcraft is when they take stuff away.
Yes.
Like I normally wouldn't have gone to get the title, but doggone it, they're taking it away, so I need it. So, and people pay a lot of gold for those runs, and he was nice enough to just bring me along in their pug groups, and it was awesome. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it immensely, and yeah. So just the people who are feeding my addictions for titles and collectibles. They know me all too well.
They do. That's very thoughtful stuff. We got one in the chat room from Draven Dresden. Ooh. He said, a quick slash moo to Molly Mock, long may he reign. So that's nice. From Draven. I have 2 slash moos to give. The first one goes to listener Solo Vala. And Marconin has had a hand in this. I don't know how this happened. But a package showed up at my home unexpectedly that came from Marconin's name and address. And I'm like, what is this? And I open it up. And there's a beautiful letter and a box containing a bangle bracelet with a fox on it. And it was from Solo Vala. And completely unexpected. I had no idea it was coming. And the letter was exactly what I needed to hear. You know, just a letter of encouragement and kindness, just letting me know and reminding me what we do and that it matters. And it was just amazing. And I couldn't, like, there was no reason for it, but that was what made it so special. So it was just somebody who cared. And that's like super cool. Like I'm tearing up because it means so much that people think about me that way. So I don't know what you did, Marconin, but you worked magic and got it to my address.
I was merely the messenger.
You were merely the messenger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that was a beautiful surprise. And the second slash moo that I have is for 2 folks. It is Perfect Nomad and the only human, Gabrielle is her name. Gabby made me a gorgeous knit cap and scarf that she created herself. And again, another beautiful letter of just kindness. Again, no reason. Like she asked me what my favorite color was, and I said it was purple, and she made me the cutest set. Like I'm actually wishing it was actually colder right now so I could wear it because it's so cute. And I hate the cold, so that means something. Yeah, it's just super, super cool people. And it was all Gabby who made it. She's wonderful. And but she signed it from both of them. So, and it was just very, very sweet. It meant a lot. Like, gifts like that for no reason are some of the kindest things ever because they just literally make your day. And so, yeah, that was pretty incredible. And so those three folks get the biggest slash moves from me. Thank you for your kindness and your thoughtfulness. And, you know, sometimes I feel like I don't deserve that. It's just me making a silly little podcast. But it means a ton. So thank you.
Well, that's awesome.
I told you guys I was emotional. It's part of the whole thing. So, like, that's any surprise to anybody who listens to the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you must be new if you don't know, because we've spelled that out like before several times. You got it. It's who we are. Can't help it.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it doesn't matter if we've been doing this for 6 years. It's like, you know, that's who we are. And yeah, I'm just very, very grateful for our community and the people who listen to the show, to be such caring and kind humans, because this world needs you for sure, especially right now. So, yeah.
Well, one other small slash move is that I was in I nearly got really hurt driving my car yesterday.
Really?
I slid off a slick road at a sharp turn on the left, and I went down into a little valley thing and nearly flipped my car.
Oh my gosh.
My car got stuck, and no one stopped for 20 minutes or so. And I'm there getting covered in mud, putting rocks around my tire and twigs, digging into the mud, getting covered in dirt, trying to get my vehicle back up on the road. And finally, this guy pulls up, as a Hispanic gentleman, and he's like, "You need some help?" And I said, "Yeah, I sure could use it." He's like, "Do you have a chain or anything?" Like, "No, I don't." He has an old bungee cord, like a really thick bungee cord, and he ties it around the axle of my car. And he tries to pull me out, and it snaps instantly.
Yeah.
So, and then he's like, "Well, I've got a newer bungee. Let me try that." So we pull at it, car moves a little bit, snaps.
Oh.
Pulls it a little bit, snaps. 4 times it took to get my car out of the mud.
Wow.
When we were up towards, like, I slid sideways and just kept bouncing up and down. The thing, and a truck almost slid down into the same valley right at me as I was trying to get it figured out. I heard his tires squeal, but he thankfully didn't fall in. If I'd gone any farther, I would have hit the edge of the little culvert and probably flipped my car.
Jeez.
This guy named Bobby, just, it's kind of, you believe in miracles and coincidence and people who are messengers of the divine, of what we should be, how we should treat each other, and they come in the most unassuming packages. He's just a Hispanic gentleman, wasn't wearing a shirt, had torn jeans, his boots were torn, but when you're a guardian angel, your wings are most of the time hidden. Yeah. And that's probably what it was. So, not really a slash move to him, but like, thank God for him, because I don't know how long I would have been stuck out there. And he really saved my bacon yesterday. So I appreciate him for that. I thanked him numerous times when we were getting my car unbungeed from his truck. But, and it was slick road, wasn't even driving fast, just went off the side.
Yeah.
And just very thankful. There are days when you get shaken a little bit out of your everyday cloud. And I was talking to him, and he was like, "Has anyone stopped? And has anybody stopped or done anything?" And I was like, "Nah, nothing. You're the first one." He's like, "Man, it's really sad the way the world goes sometimes. People want to just hurt each other all the time. And, even small disagreements turn to violence for no good reason." And, yeah, I mean, we could all do a little bit better and channel a little inner Bobby and help someone, when it doesn't benefit you one bit, just for the fact that it benefits someone else. So, I think we could all
be more like Bobby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I even have a little piece of the broken bungee still in my car, that I found under my car later that day when I was getting mud off of it. So I'm keeping that.
Yeah. Reminder to be more like Bobby. I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that is our podcast for this week. We're very glad to be
Yep.
back. And
Yes.
we apologize for being away so long, and hopefully we'll not do that again.
Mhm.
Is there anything that is happening for you within the next 7 days before we meet again?
Oh, well, actually, we need to mention something that may happen in 6 days, next
Oh,
Wednesday.
yes, we do. We do. And I need to do that
I just
post
remembered.
tomorrow. Yes.
Patreon, monthly Patreon, guys. We're getting it under the wire the last Wednesday of the month.
Yes.
Next Wednesday, that's the 25th. We're going to do some games. Not quite sure what we're doing yet, but stay tuned and watch the Twitters, watch your subscription feed on Twitch, and we will do some gaming next Wednesday.
Yes, we had waited until we knew Marconen's schedule would shake out a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit more manageable, yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we're sneaking it in. I will be sending out the notice tomorrow. It's on my list. And so monthly game night for patrons will happen on Wednesday coming up. And thank you, as always, to our patrons for supporting the show. We are very, very grateful for you, even as we take 3 weeks off. So.
Yes, we are very, very grateful. But yeah, other than that, I don't really think there's a lot going on in the next week for me. Just getting ready for Battle for Azeroth, leveling up my Lightforged Draenei. I only have 3 more class mounts to finish to have them all. Taking my time. I need to do the warrior, the shaman, and the druid, but my druid's 102, so he's got a ways to go. So I may switch and do the warrior or the shaman first. So yeah, might be doing that. That's about it. Yeah, fine. With work slowing down, I'm taking this weekend very slowly. I'm going to relax and I'm going to sleep and just relax and game, do some Overwatch probably. Just I need a tiny little bit of a break after all that work.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, so for me, you can catch me on BattleNet Sports. You can catch me on Esports Daily. Those are going on. I will be on the next episode of Nerf This coming up on Tuesday because Brian is out of town, so I get to take on the helm. Yeah, I'll buckle in. It should be a wild ride.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll be taking on that. Please say a good, happy thought to the job gods for me, because I'm hopeful that this job will come through. And yeah, that's going to be... And hopefully I'll have some more announcements I can make soon. TM. Soon.
Sweet.
Yes. So with that, I think we're going to bring this show to a close like we always do, which is just like this. Tauren Think Tank is supported by you, our fans. Thank you to each and every one of you who support us every month on Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website, and that's at taurenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too.
If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yep. And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find Jules at Jules RPG, and you can also find me at Marconen Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can join us in our live chat room when we record on the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. And we love seeing you here with us, however you listen, on the podcast, in the live show, wherever you find us. We love you.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Marconen,
Jules.
be safe, be happy, get some great rest. I'll see you next week.
And you do the same. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. For myself, for Marconen, for the entire chat room, we're very glad to be able to say this again. Until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
And done.
I will say though, I checked TaurenThinkTank.com/store. All the t-shirts are 30% off for the next 4.5 hours.
Are they
Because I know
really?
it's not in the outro, and I checked it. Yeah, t-shirts are normally 20. They're $14.
Oh, wow.
I need another Tauren Think Tank logo shirt, so I
Yeah.
may buy one.
I have
I may need one.
Plague with Tech Issues, Marconan's Wild Ride. Cheesing. TaurenThinkTank.com/store.
Yes.
Cheesing my
I
way to
will.
400. Where is my cat? Starving and had to pee. Give me the money, Greg and Peg. Uncle Greg and Aunt Peg.
Mm-hmm. If I'd said it earlier in the in the show, maybe be more like Bobby.
Yeah, we
could
could make that a
possibly be one.
title. Be more like
I
Bobby.
like the give me the money is funny too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just that's I'll throw that one in the ring.
I like Be More Like Bobby. I like that. So we'll go with that one.
Okay. Sweet.
Okay.
I named one.
Yay.
What is that?
Buy yourself a new shirt.
The classic t-shirt style. Oh, there we go. Cool. I was gonna say that when I first tried to select one of them, it only went to large or something like that. But I fixed it.
Fixed it. I fixed it.
I fixed it.
Yes. That's awesome.
It works. It works good now.
I like it. I like it.
Ooh, I like this one. It's navy heather. I like that color.
It was navy. I love it. The navy.
It's like a dark navy blue mixed with gray. And it's
Oh,
got
yeah.
triple logo on it. I like that color. It is nice. 4.5 hours, y'all. Get
4.5.
yourself some shirts.
Buy your shirts.
Just don't break wind at Thanksgiving dinner. I tell you what.
Everything is on sale.
Everything is on sale.
The number 3 shirt is one of my favorites. That's my favorite design.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that one a lot, too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I never actually did talk about the love languages that I pulled it up and then I never
yeah,
used
we
it.
didn't.
We never got back around to that one. But oh well. Don't.
Oh, well.
I
We'll,
ended up shutting down
we can,
Discord.
you know, we could turn that into a topic for some show.
Yeah, we've talked about it in the past a while
Yeah,
ago,
that's
but
true.
it would be cool to bring it back around again if somebody had a specific issue of like not being on the same page as their partner or something in terms of like how they express their affection. There are some people who are just kind of like, it's a bunch of hooey, and but I do think it really helps to understand people's motivations of what they really want. Because, man, if you are somebody who's like, I want you to show your love by spending quality time with me, and you're like, no, I just buy you stuff and you're fine. Like, it's not going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you got that's where you kind of understand where each person's coming from, and then you try to kind of meet in the middle. You compromise a little bit. You don't spend all your time with them, but
yeah.
You do that, or it's kind of like you just kind of find something they like and then just get them something, or do this, show your love with things of service, cook them dinner or whatever. You just kind of dip your toe in a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to incorporate yours a little bit too.
Yeah, for me, it was always about acts of service. Like if I said that I needed to like get my oil change in my car or something, and they just went ahead and did it for me instead of me having to do it because that's what they wanted to do, and I've been like, I love you forever. Thank you. Thank you. That means so much to me. But yeah. Oh man. All right, we're gonna get out of here so Mark Conan can get some food because he hasn't
Yes,
eaten.
I'm very hungry.
Very hungry.
Ravenous.
And we did a good show, and now we will leave you with that. So, And yeah, okay, go rest. And thank you, chat room, for being with us. We love you and we appreciate you. And we'll be back next week.
Yes, we do.
Send us topics. Okay, so excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you again.
I got one more in there, don't I? No, I'm good. I think I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
Oh, very, very, very cool.
What?
Well, I was gonna say, shoot, I lost my track of thought. Oh man, I don't even know.
I don't know.
My
what
brain
you're
just
talking
stopped for a second. I think it's the food that I
about.
need.
Okay, the lack of food.
Oh,
All right.
the lack of food. Oh.
We're out of here then. See
All
you
right.
guys. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you Thursday. /moo.
Yep. /moo, guys. See you next week.